compromises without compromising the core values and the goals is yielding fruits. We are not out of the woods yet, but we are in a better place today than at this time in 2024 or this time in 2023. Much work remains to be done in the pursuit of a stable, equitable, and prosperous country that delivers to the citizens. It will require firm and resolute leadership, regular consultations, more sobriety, and constant focus on the needs of the people. I mention sobriety because in times like this, it is possible for politicians to spend more time listening to the echoes of their own voices and the cheers from the masses, and forget that we are leaders and we are supposed to be leading. In times like this, it is possible to be lost in competing campaigns or populism and forget that leading means making decisions that may sometimes invite booing instead of cheers. I have been there. I've been cheered and I've been booed. I was once set up against the people when I set about clearing the ground for the Thika superhighway and the bypasses around Nairobi. Today, everyone claims credit for Thika superhighway and the bypasses. My colleagues in Parliament once disowned me when, together with KANU, I championed the Constitution Review Commission that laid the groundwork for what became the 2010 Constitution and which everyone claims credit for today. So my appeal to you as we embark on some of the legislative agenda coming up is that you should never feel powerless or feel like giving up because populists around you are seeking popularity at the expense of leadership. When they call you Baba and someone sets the homestead on fire, does Baba join the burning of the homestead just because it looks like exciting, or does Baba help to put out the fire? Does Baba release his sons and daughters to add fuel to the fire, or does Baba ask his children to fetch water? I know you know the answer. There's a time to lead and a time to acknowledge cheers. Popularity surges and wanes. Cheering masses come, change, and go. But solid service to the nation, brought against all odds, stands the test of history. Today, I charge you to soldier on in this cause. It is good for our people. It is good for our country. If you act out of conviction, if you put the people at the heart of your maneuvers, if you ensure that our actions are in line with our ideals as a party and our aspirations as a country, the lack of history will be on our side. And I've said, as has been said by Dr. Oscar Hotel there, I told you, stand for what is right for the party. And look at what we have signed. And we must remain as ODM. And we've signed and agreed that we'll work together up to 2027. We have not passed any resolution as a party to say how we're going to go into the elections of 2027. So wherever you are, don't commit the party to some things which have not been discussed. Let those things be discussed first. We are ODM. Who's told you that ODM will not have a candidate in 2027? Who has told you? So first, think as ODM. We have a clear plan that we have negotiated and we've agreed on, and let us continue to implement that plan. Other decisions we'll take when the time comes. Finally, first, I want to thank Mbadi for bringing out some of the issues. Like he's talked about selling some assets. Kenya Pipeline Corporation. The pipeline is underground from Mombasa through here. Even if you sell it, where is somebody taking it to? It remains very much an asset of Kia. It is just there on the ground. So somebody want to buy it, buy it. That is what Margaret Thatcher told Britons when the Arabs were coming with petrodollars to buy historical buildings in the UK. She said, even if they buy Buckingham Palace, where are they going to take it? It remains here. Your asset. It's an idle asset. Sell it so that we get money instead of going to borrow. Make money to invest instead of going to borrow here. I want to sell the shares of Safaricom. Why not? Why don't you sell the shares of Safaricom? It just remains here in the country. This is what my friend, the Indian Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, has done in India. When he invited me to go to Gujarat as chief minister then, I went as a chief guest in what is called a vibrant Gujarat. And there were many people who had been invited from outside India. And I was in a panel discussion with some of the Indian conglomerates, the Tata, Ratan Tata, the ADANI groups, and all this together. And we saw how many deals were being signed, people coming to invest in Gujarat. The state of Gujarat is one of the states of India. The economy of Gujarat was growing at the rate of 13% per annum, compared to 5-6% of other states. Gujarat, you know, the population of Gujarat is 60 million people, bigger than Kenya. So I asked Modi, how did you manage to achieve this? He went into his bookshelf and brought me a piece of legislation. He said, this is the secret. This was a PPP law of Gujarat, which he said, make it simple like this. It will attract people to come and invest in your country. Armed with that legislation, I came here and I presented it to the cabinet. And I told him what I saw in Gujarat is something astonishing. We approved the memo in the cabinet. It was then given to then Minister for Finance, who was acting, Mr. Michuki, to go and prepare a cabinet memo. When he took it to the mandarins in the treasury, they manipulated it, changed so many things. By the time they brought it back to the cabinet, it was a different document. I told them, who will come, who will want to risk his capital with these kind of things you put in this law? It was passed and brought to Parliament, passed, no investors came because there were so many restrictions and private capital is risk shy. But when I was there, they took me. They took us. I was in that delegation as a prime minister. I'd gone with the current prime cabinet minister, Mr. Mudavadi. We were with President Ruto at that time, with Chris Obore, who was a minister for public works. I was with a big delegation. We were taken to a place called Mundra, a port, where they had built, Modi had given just land to ADANI, 5,000 hectares of land, marshland near the sea. They drained that land and built a port. So they were using that port to import coal from Indonesia. And they put up a power plant, 4,600 megawatts of power. Then the Tata group followed suit and also built a similar plant, 4,600 megawatts there. So a total of 9,600 megawatts was being generated from that port alone. Our total generation capacity in this country today is not even 3,000. That's from that port. And then they built a railway line, 100 kilometers to join with the national railway system. A sleeping village of 5,000 people rose to become a town of 200,000, eventually now 500,000 people. And investors came to invest in that place. They even built an airport in that place. Okay? Then I can give you so many other examples. So you find the same people, ADANI, are given them Bombay. Bombay airport used to be so dilapidated, fly infested and so on. They could have constructed Bombay airport. Today Bombay airport is so efficient when you go there. You go and look at the Delhi airports. When Modi eventually became Prime Minister of India, he now replicated what he had done in Gujarat in the whole of India. Within the time that he has been the Prime Minister for 10 years, they have constructed 130,000 kilometers of railway line through PPP. They have, in almost every state in India has got 2 international airports in India. All this being done through PPPs. And that's why when ADANI came here to want to do this airport, and too much noise was being made in Parliament for no reason at all, they pulled out. The Red airport is just like here, it is. It is as it is. They are not taking it away. They are bringing their money to do it. They are bringing their money to do it. And they will charge for over 30 years so that they don't charge so highly. That's what would have happened. Now, a similar arrangement is happening in Kigali. So the Qataris are building a Kigali International Airport in the same terms like ADANI wanted to do here. So Kigali is going to be the hub in this region, not Nairobi, because of noise being made by other parties which were also interested in doing what ADANI was supposed to do and paying people down under the table to make noise every day in the newspapers. Shame on them. Shame on them. We need to wake up as a country, because if we don't wake up, we're going to continue to sleep. There's many opportunities that are available for us as a country. We as ODM must remain ODM and remain focused, because the country needs